Good morning, good afternoon, good evening for some. Thanks for joining the webinar today. We're excited for what we're going to be sharing with everyone that's on the line. We're going to get started in just a moment as folks are rolling in. Feel free to give yourself a shout out. Oh, Scott kicking it off from McKinney, Texas. What's going on? Feel free to introduce yourself, where you're dialing in from, hey, lots of great locations here: Germany, Canada, BK in the house, Bloomington, Santa Clara, Atlanta. Awesome, nice to see everyone. We're going to start in just a moment as folks are rolling in. We got quite a large turnout that's coming in today. Germany, San Francisco, Napa, Toronto, Massachusetts. We got the Conductor team on the line. We got quite a few folks also from Conductor. My name's Seth Besmertnik. I'm the co-founder and CEO, dialing in from the amazing city of New York. And then we have my colleagues that are here: Wei, Asia, Louisa, and Alexandra. Why don't you all say hi? Where you zooming in from?
I'm dialing in from San Francisco.
Woo.
Hi, everybody. Good to see everyone.
Hello from Cyprus.
Cyprus.
Hi from Berlin.
Hello from Brooklyn.
Brooklyn to Berlin to Cyprus to Bay Area to New York. Map that out. What kind of picture would that show? Okay, I think we can get started. So thanks everybody for joining. Really excited for today's share out for folks. We have quite a few Conductor customers on the line, as well as folks who are thinking about becoming Conductor customers. So thank you all for joining. Today we're going to be going through a pretty big product release for us that we've been working on. We have a number of big things that we're working on, and this is a pretty significant one that we're working on right now to share out with all of you. And I'm going to kick it off with a little bit of introduction, and then Wei, our Chief Product Officer, is going to share a little bit about some of our learnings and what we're seeing, and then we're going to really spend most of the time walking through the product. And we can take questions. We have plenty of experts from Conductor on the line, so we can take questions and answer them in the chat. And then maybe if we have some time at the end, we can do some live Q&A. So just to introduce the company, we really pride ourselves, Conductor, as being the only really end-to-end platform that covers all the bases of running both a comprehensive AEO and SEO program, which managing that in a unified way. Today, we're going to spend a lot of our time on our intelligence solution, which is the way that we help our customers really understand and measure and gather the intelligence about their presence in AI engines and all the major engines across the world. Really excited that very recently we've launched a data product, which we're going to also talk about, which is a way for you to take AI intelligence and bring it into your workflow, bring it into your Claude or your Copilot or ChatGPT, or build your own agentic systems on top of Conductor data. It's pretty incredible, and really excited to start seeing our customers using this data and these insights across their business, which is really exciting. We have a tremendous history in leading the market in what we do with deep foundations in SEO, and we think that's so important right now because there's such a limited amount of data in terms of AI. Like ChatGPT is not pushing out data streams on what's happening in AI from an analytics perspective. So we really leverage the data assets that we've been collecting for years around consumer behavior and website performance and content performance and competitive performance to help bring a full picture on your real AI performance. And Conductor really leads the market from an enterprise perspective. As you all know, the reason why we're all here and why there's so many people joining today is that how people make decisions is going through massive transformation. I'd say I still come across the companies once in a while that are like, oh, AI search isn't affecting our customers. That's happening very, very rarely. And I tell them all, I'm like, you might say that today, but it's going to be like a matter of days or weeks where you are in a sort of state of panic, realizing how much impact this actually has on your business. We all know this as consumers. It is the way that people are influencing and making decisions. And for us as marketers, that's created a massive focus on answer engine optimization and really thinking about how do you build new telemetry, new measurement, new metrics around, and a new process around how to do this, because this is not a world where it's like drive people to your website and then convert them. This is entirely new infrastructure, and we're really excited to help our customers with executing on building that infrastructure. And on that note, I'm going to pass it off to Wei, who's going to talk a little bit about what we've been doing and where we're going.
Thank you so much, Seth. Hi, everybody. My name is Wei. I'm the Chief Product Officer. I'm super, super excited to be on this webinar with all of you. We released AI search performance June of last year. So it's been about, I would say, almost 9 months since we put the product out there. And we received such great feedback from everyone who have tried the product. We built this solution from the ground up, leveraging our powerful data engine and actually our brand new user experience as well in the platform. So in terms of adoption, I wanted to share a cool customer success story here. H&R Block, who is one of our early adopters of our AI search performance, saw a dramatic increase in their AI presence. They mentioned, actually, we have a really cool customer success story that Haley just linked in the chat if you want to listen to the customer talking about it. But they were using our solution to track 3 primary metrics. One is brand mention, which is how often is H&R Block being recommended in AI. And second, citation market share, understanding how their content is being cited and what other content is being cited are talking about them. And last but not least, which is the sentiment that is, in AI surfaces about H&R Block. They saw some dramatic increases, 125% increase in brand mention and almost doubling of AI website citations. And they achieved this by looking at the data and then coming up with the gaps and optimization opportunities in content. And then they use that data to create really, really helpful content in their website. And because of how often AI is now actually scraping and also acting on users' behalf, in searching for information, they were able to see very rapid results. I would say much more quicker, like much quicker than SEO in classic Google, in the Google world. So that's really exciting. And then some of the other quick feedback that I wanted to share, these are some of the things that we heard over and over again during the 9 months that we had the AI search performance feature out there and what they love about it. One is that Conductor is an enterprise platform. So a lot of our users mentioned that they love the fact that you're able to see AI search performance in the same platform as where they see traditional Google SEO performance. And Google is still really important, not to mention Google AI Overview now dominate much more of the queries and search query that users are putting in addition to AI mode only, which is another platform that we track. So having all the data in one place is really helpful. And this is also differentiated by the fact that in our platform, a lot of users are enjoying the capability of integrating their analytics so that they can see their organic traffic coming from Google side by side with the traffic that's coming from AI referral search engines. So they can understand their kind of performance in one unified place. Second is that one of the biggest things right now and the debate is, where does the data for AI search performance come from? How do people actually know what people are putting into ChatGPT and all the tools that are out there? And again, Conductor is extremely confident, and because we're an enterprise platform and we have to meet all the security and governance protocols, we, as much as possible, try to obtain this data from official APIs of the LLM surfaces with custom designed system prompts that mimic what ChatGPT and what the other search engines are doing. Most people don't understand, but ChatGPT is just another application that is actually built on top of the GPT model, as well as the fact that Claude and all these other surfaces, wherever possible, we submit the prompts that we're tracking through the official API interfaces. So a lot of enterprise brands appreciate that level of transparency in data. And this is also directly connected to our special sauce in what we call synthetic prompt generation. So we have the ability for you to come in and give us information about your goals and objectives. We look into all of the data assets that you already have, such as your website, such as the keywords that you were tracking in SEO. And we use all those data signals to help you create a library of very personalized prompts built just for your brand. That can be segmented by persona, that can be segmented by search intent, branded or unbranded. And this asset itself has become so valuable in terms of for brands to understand their AI search presence. And this is the way that we do it versus a lot of the other vendors out there that are using more unreliable data sources. And last but not least, which is kind of a surprise to us, but we're very pleasantly surprised by it, is that we released, in addition to AI search performance, we actually launched Conductor's MCP server that sit on top of all of our AI search performance sometime in December. We're one of the only applications that are featured in ChatGPT App Store as an official app. And we have had some really interesting feedback of users who leverages our data via the MCP server in the LLM and workflows that they already use today. A lot of our users have access to ChatGPT, Claude, Copilot, and through those LLMs, you can actually get intelligence and bake Conductor into the workflow from those services using our MCP server. So we got some really positive feedback about that, and we got big plans for our MCP server as we build additional data sets into it this year. But yeah, all this feedback has been super helpful for our product team. So now I'm gonna just show a few quotes. And again, this is just to show the voice of the customer. I think for Conductor, the product team, I've got Louisa and Aja, who are the makers of the software, on the call today. We pride ourselves for listening very closely to our customers' feedback, and we do appreciate when customers sending positive feedback about our platform. So thank you to those of you that have been trying the software and giving us encouragement. As I mentioned, Conductor's philosophy for innovation, we have over probably 90 people now working on AI search visibility and working on AEO platform. And every dollar that we make is invested back into our R&D organization and our customer success organization. So again, we're excited about our new roadmap this year and continue to make the dollars that you give us to put that to even more innovations and deliver more value for all of you. Now, I wanted to jump into the demo very quickly to show you the next version of our AI search performance. But before I do that, I want to highlight a few central themes. I talked a lot about things that people loved about our platform or about AI search performance, but there were three specific areas that we worked on to make the solution even better, directly based on your feedback. The first area that we try to improve on is a lot of users who come into our platform, they just want really clear insights. They don't want to just look at a lot of data, even though we have a lot of data. They want to quickly be able to see competitive win and loss dashboards, for example, see how they stack up to all the other brands that they care about, and be able to show those reports to their executive stakeholders so you're never digging for the data and looking for the insight yourself. So that's the first piece of feedback, and you will see some really cool new widgets that we have introduced in AI search performance reporting to do just that. Second, we want to make the analysis as personalized as possible. Earlier, I talked about the fact that users really love about the way that we configure our prompts by user persona, by search intent. So that gave us a perfect opportunity to then show you the result of AI search performance via those specific vectors. So we built some really, really awesome visualization and dashboard for you to be able to drill down in looking at your search performance by persona, by search intent, and by your brand goals, not just a like generic overview. And last but not least is everybody give us great feedback about all this data is amazing, but what the heck do we do with it? How do we actually take actions on the data? So what you will see in the demo today is we make a lot of the widgets much more action oriented, but also we're introducing first class recommendations and actual in context recommendation in AI search performance, so you know exactly the action and to take, whether that's content optimization, creating new content, or earn citations with third party sources. So those are the thematical categories that we have chosen to work on to make the next generation of this capability even more powerful. All right. So with that, I think I'm switching it over to Louisa, Alexandra for a demo of the new capabilities.
Thank you so much, Wei. Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us today. Let me share my screen. All right. So I'm really excited to give you a first look at what happens when you take something that customers already love and push it forward. Not just improving it, but rethinking it to unlock entirely new possibilities. What you see today in our new report is a more intuitive, more rich experience. One that doesn't just inform you, but helps you see clearly, think strategically, and act with confidence. As we mentioned, last June we launched our AI search performance, and we brought together everything that we felt you need in order to understand this messy new world of AI search. Brand mentions, citations, market share, sentiment, intent, personas, everything in one place, everything in one consolidated view. It was comprehensive. But our customers told us something important. Being comprehensive doesn't automatically make it excellent. So what I'm going to walk you through today are the lessons that you taught us on how to be both comprehensive and excellent, and how we applied our lessons to what you see now in our new report. So starting with the first lesson, and let's call it make the implicit explicit. In traditional SEO, people know what success looks like. You aim for positions 1 to 3 where the most clicks happen. You want feature snippets, you want videos. The playbook is clear, the metrics are established, years of experience have built a very strong intuition. AI search is new. A year ago, we were still figuring out the basics. What's the difference between a brand mention and a citation? What does it mean to be cited but not mentioned? These concepts didn't even exist before, and the industry was defining them in real time. So when someone sees 1,800 brand mentions, the obvious question is this good? And the honest question is, we don't really know yet. Benchmarks don't really exist because the landscape is still shifting. But what we can do is show you what matters and how it's changing. And this is the shift. And you can see in our new report, we highlight 4 key metrics at the top: brand mentions, website citations, cited pages, and sentiment score, each with a clear trend indicator. We are not telling you 1,800 is good. We are saying these are the signals that matter and you have to pay attention to, and here is whether they're moving up and down. In a world without benchmarks, direction becomes your benchmark and momentum becomes your signal. The second lesson is, let's call it, am I winning? So once you have your top level 4 metrics, the next question is, what do they mean in your market? Without industry benchmarks, your closest reference point is your competitor, your closest competitors. Your competitors are your benchmark. In the old report, the competitor data was buried halfway down the page. But customers tell us, my VP's first question isn't how are we doing? It is, are we winning? And that totally makes sense. So if 1,800 mentions is something that is important for us, once we put it in a context of, does it mean 38% of the share of voice in my market, and I am ahead of my competitors with those numbers, this suddenly makes the data much more meaningful. So the context turns numbers into a story. So in the new report, competitor names and share of voice are front and center, as you can see, with the ability to track how they change over time. And because in a new category like that, competitive position isn't just a helpful context. It is the only definition of good that really matters. Let's go to the third lesson and how we embodied it. Let's call it, let me go deeper when I'm ready. You see all those links in our new report. You can navigate from the metrics cards and also from the widgets to different places in the platform. The old report was like one endless scroll, but our users have different needs. Executives want a quick summary. Practitioners want to dig into topics and prompts, and trying to serve them both in a single view meant that nobody is actually fully served. So we restructured the report, and now the new report, as you see, is organized around dedicated tabs. So we do have the high-level overview, but we also have competitive landscape, your performance, topics, and prompts. So you can start broad and then go deeper when something catches your attention. So the overview tells you what changed, and the deeper sections help you understand why. Moving on to the next lesson, which let's call how my biggest bets are performing. Previously, every topic was treated the same. It was represented similarly in charts, in the space, they had the same weight. But customers are telling me, I'm tracking hundreds of prompts, I have dozens of topics. I don't need all of them at once. I need to understand the ones that I'm invested in the most, how they're performing. So we introduced featured topics and prompts. This section highlights the areas where you're most invested in terms of total tracked prompts across locations and engines, and show you the mention coverage, the citation coverage, and sentiment at glance. It shifts the experience from a wall of data to actually a portfolio view. So you can immediately see where your key bets are paying off or stalling without digging through everything else. Think of it as your investment report. What you prioritize in strategy is now reflected in what you see first in the overview of your report. Another lesson. Which AI search engines matter? Probably in the beginning, our team was answering numerous times per day this question. The old report showed everything in aggregate, but that meant customers couldn't tell if they were strong in one platform or invisible in another in an easy way. Of course, our reports, they are filterable. You can see one search engine at a time, but not really see them next to each other. And this is what we changed with our report, where you can really see how are you performing on one of the search engines against the others, and those differences matter. So, because AI search isn't a single engine, it is a fragmented ecosystem. Understanding this difference is something that you should definitely focus on. The next lesson that I would like to talk about is something that has been foundational to our AI search report from day one. In AI search, every prompt is shaped by who is asking and why. The audience isn't just a dimension, it is the primary one. But in the old report, intent and persona were just charts at the bottom. They look like just another more thing to check. So we flipped the interface to match our conviction. Intent and persona are now top-level filters, and then reshape the whole report. So you can select a single persona and report on its performance, and you can see everything updates, mentions, citations, competitors, topics, search engines. Similarly for intent. And this is not just a UX choice. It actually reflects reality. AI systems already personalize results based on intent and persona. If your measurement doesn't match that, it's not telling you a very meaningful story. And the final lesson is that people don't want us just to show them the problem. They want to get recommendations of what they have to do. The old report was diagnostic. It told us what was happening, but not what to do next. So customer told us, okay, I understand my citation coverage is weak. What now? In traditional SEO, people have intuition. You see a rank drop, you know what's the playbook. In EAO, the intuition doesn't exist yet. And the gap between insights and actions is where the progress goes. So the new report includes recommendations directly tied to what the data is showing. Not just some generic advice, but specific next steps. So you can see our recommendations based on your data on how to earn citations, improve sentiment, and boost your brand mentions. Because data without direction doesn't drive action, it creates mostly anxiety. So our job isn't just to show you a report, it is to help you what is your next best action. So to summarize, the evolution, I believe, reflects to large extent what every marketer is going through right now. We can't yet define what good looks like, but we can show what's changing, how fast, relative to whom, according to which search engines, and for which audiences, and what your next best move is. Momentum beats absolutes, and clarity beats comprehensiveness. So none of us can afford to just wait and sit until the space matures so that we can act. The teams that will win are the ones who embrace the uncertainty, commit to the signals that they believe in, track progress relentlessly, and keep refining as they learn. And this is what we did with this report. And this is what the best marketers in this room are already doing with their AEO strategies. These lessons shaped what we built, but how we brought them to life matters as much. So with that, I'll hand it over to our senior designer, Asha, who will walk you through the design philosophy behind. Thank you.
Thank you, Louisa. Hi, everyone. I'm Asha. I'm one of the product designers here at Conductor. And my role is to think about how our data is used by you, what challenges to solve for, and how to create intuitive interfaces which support exploration, understanding, and ultimately how to act on that data. If it's pretty, it also helps. So the first version of our AI search report gave us a strong starting point. It provided a view on this new type of data and generated a lot of valuable feedback, helping us to better understand how teams want to explore it and action it. Data can quickly become overwhelming, especially when multiple charts and data types compete for attention in a single screen. This often leads not only to confusion, but also to excessive scrolling and clicking just to find meaningful insights. We wanted to give teams flexibility to view their data in different ways, and we've built a wide range of reports to support that. But with that flexibility comes challenge. How do we present a complete, actionable view of performance without overwhelm? So our approach has been to focus on clarity through structure and consistency, organizing the information into 3 reports. We have the overview report, which provides a quick look at the current state, and it acts as a gateway into the 2 other core reports, the competitive landscape and your performance. Each of these 2 reports use top-level cards to specify the metric in focus, and the report itself consists of a set of learnable patterns which allow you to go directly to the insights that you need. So we have a line chart to show performance over time, next to it a leaderboard to quickly identify the top performing entities, and then additional charts below to provide an overall view on topic performance and focused insights on the visibility of your content across personas and search intents. Each individual widget is tailored to an insight and ensures that every view is purposeful and directly supports decision-making within a given workflow. We also have a share report button, which you can easily share a filtered, tailored report with your colleagues or bookmark it for fast access to these filtered views that matter most to you. We also address the complexity within the charts themselves. So each visualization is designed to communicate the primary metric at a glance. For example, the line chart highlights the key trend clearly, while still allowing deeper exploration when needed. We surface only what's essential upfront and reveal additional complexity on demand. We have drill downs via the Explore button. These provide more granular views, such as focused data grids with only the most relevant columns, so teams can deepen their understanding without being overwhelmed. The Explore modals themselves can also be added to a workspace or exported, and also to allow detailed views for ongoing investigation. Overall, the design goal is to balance flexibility with focus, enabling you to move seamlessly from high-level insights to detailed analysis, all within a clear and predictable structure. We place strong emphasis on continuous user feedback as a core of part of our design process, and that feedback comes directly to both the product manager, Louisa, and myself, and it plays a critical role in how we evolve the experience, helping us to validate what's working, uncover friction points, and identify opportunities to better tailor the product to your needs. Thank you. To show more about the workflows, I will hand over to Alexandra. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Asha. I'm going to go ahead here and start sharing my screen. All right. Cool. So I'm going to go ahead and get started walking through workflows within our AI search performance report. So let's say you get asked a question about your AEO visibility, for example. This is where you can come into the Conductor platform and get an understanding of where you stand, how often your brand is being mentioned, cited, when AI engines answer questions your buyers are actually asking across ChatGPT, Perplexity, all of these different engines, including AI overviews, Copilot. So all of this is going to be unified. And here I'm actually got this on comparison. But this is all going to be unified into a single trending score across your mentions, citations, an amount of pages cited, and your sentiment score. So the reason this matters is when those numbers are low, which for most brands is lower than they'd actually expect, it means that your buyers are completing AI-driven research journeys without ever encountering your brand. So that really means that no clicks, no impressions, no chance to really make a case for yourself. So you can see your performance here against prior periods, as I was showing here immediately. Louisa just showed us that as well. And a metric really tells you a number, but a measurement tells you if you're improving and at what rate. So really the difference between a dashboard and more of a decision-making tool. Now what I can do here too as well is I can drill in on all this information just looking at.
Hey, Alexandra, your screen is showing loading only. It's not actually shared yet.
It's just showing loading?
Yeah, I think
it's showing for me.
Can we get in the chat? If we got Joe on from CleanRight, can you tell us if you can see our screen or my screen, if anyone else is having an issue?
Yeah, I can see it, Seth.
I cannot see your screen.
That's so weird. Some people can see it, some people can't see it. Maybe try once more. Yeah, for me, it just says loading.
All right, let me try this again. So I am going to, thank you for letting me know. Can we see it now?
I'll defer to others because I've seen it before.
Yeah, I was like, Seth, I'm like, yeah, you know the drill, but imagine what we're walking through. Okay, so what I can do here now is I can drill into this for a specific topic, and I can see all of this different information at the topic level as well. So competitor citation frequency, mention rate by engine, all of this information. So we can look at this across all of your performance topics and then even break down to the prompt level. So every specific query driving the data you're seeing is fully traceable. So I could hop into any of these here, and we're not just giving you like a score, we're actually giving you the reasoning behind that. So from trend to topic to even popping in and looking at individual prompts, and really making it around having a path to action. So I could even look at the prompt response here. One of the things that I always like to just mention is how our customers are using this today. So we work with a top 10 global asset management firm. They were really, really strong when it came to traditional SEO. like consistently ranking in Google. They had that down. We worked with them for a while. When they first started using our AI search performance and ran their first AEO analysis, they were expecting it to have pretty good news because they are such a big leader. But what they found instead is that from a citation standpoint, they were only cited in about 14% of the AI generated answers about their core product category, and smaller, like more content. So if you actually go to a competitive landscape, they were able to see that smaller, more content forward competitors were appearing in 61% of the same prompts. So their leadership was like, hey, we thought we were winning in search, but we were winning like, I think 2019 search. So they were actually able to come in and understand using our platform by topic, identifying content clusters where AI was systematically underweighting them. And within 90 days, they actually were able to increase their, so if I go over here to your performance, their citation rate by 31 percentage points. So just by using targeted optimization guided by our, of course, AI search performance and our writing assistant. So it was pretty eye-opening for them to see that where their brand was actually living within AI conversations. Cool. And then I want to just take 1 second to talk about topics and prompts. And this is really where Conductor's methodology becomes a real differentiator. So I've talked to so many different teams around how they're pulling in data today or how they're measuring. I've even talked to people who are like, hey, we're like manually spot checking AI search. But there's really a meaningful difference, I would say, between awareness and intelligence. So it's really going to be challenging to manually check thousands of persona filtered prompts across 5, 6, 7 engines every day. So we're really about like systematic measurement and what that actually looks like. So most AI search tools track generic prompts. So they're scraping or they pull from panels of people who aren't aware that they're giving up their information, or they treat prompts more as keywords, which gives you, I would say, rough volume estimates, not high accuracy, and definitely no persona relevance. So we use direct API integrations with the AI search engines. So we're not scraping. We're using official APIs from OpenAI, Gemini, and Perplexity. So our data is going to be compliant, stable, and enterprise grade. And we also generate prompts synthetically using vector embeddings to map how your specific buyer personas, I should say here, ask questions, and covering the intent that matters across the full customer journey. So right now we're within our setup wizard here. And this is what's all piping the data I'm going to get into in a second here. So we're covering your personas across the entire buyer's journey, comparison, recommendation, support, not just informational keywords. And all of this is grounded, again, in your audience. So not a generic list of keywords or a tiny representation of unknown data sources. So because we have all this data, it's going to power things like you see here under your performance. This, I think, Seth, this is your favorite. This is one of my favorite views as well here. So this intent heat map. So at a glance, I can see where my content has authority in AI search across the entire buyer's journey here, broken down by persona. So are we winning comparison queries for our financial health advocate? I can see here that I don't have any, I'm not being cited and showing up around comparison queries for high net worth and family office, family office principal. And you can see where if you're strong at the top of the funnel, but invisible, like when buyers are actually making decisions, or where you have gaps, and gaps like that can cost pipelines. So you can, as Louisa mentioned, narrow down this report by intent and persona throughout the platform because of our flexibility of our filtering. But if you want to be able to come in and get an understanding of where should I take action, where do I have gaps from a content perspective, you can easily focus. You can easily see where you have those gaps or areas of opportunity here by looking at your coverage. And we can do this, of course, across mentions. You can see this across sentiment. Like, hey, different types of people, personas have a different sentiment for us. So also being able to, if I go back into the overview, like we were looking at before, I can actually look and see if different, I can compare my performance across engines side by side, and maybe our brand is showing up really well in Perplexity, but nearly invisible in ChatGPT. Like you'd want to know that. Or let's say you have really strong sentiment in something like a Perplexity, but then in Gemini aren't doing as well. So the content signals that these like two engines may be favoring you or looking at it differently. So this is going to tell you where to prioritize that effort. And then now I want to hop into more of our actions here. So I would say a year ago, executives were asking, why aren't we showing up in ChatGPT? It's like what we're hearing, like, why am I not showing up? Today, I feel like the conversation has really shifted. So we're understanding AI visibility a little bit more, right? And now I feel like what we've been hearing from executives is, what do we actually do about this? So this is where our new views here stop being more of a reporting tool, like Louise was talking about, and start being more of an execution engine. So I can go into our topics here and actually sort this and filter based on where I have the lowest amount of mentions. And where our brands is like not being mentioned as often. I could do this for cited as well. And again, I can click on any of these specific topics and be able to see a whole list of the prompts down to that prompt response. So you can see what AI said, like word for word, and you can see what sources that it did pull from. And you can see as well, I can go into any of the specific competitive landscape and get an understanding of which competitors are being recommended instead, what types of pages, and all of this data down to down to the prompt responses are available via API for analysis at scale. Cool. And one of the things I would also just mention here is being able to get an understanding of your competitors and competition across topics and engines in a really quick, easy view is also extremely helpful to see across these different topics if you're seeing any similarities, and just also who's winning, to answer that question that we had talked about earlier that people love to, that was some of the feedback we got as well. So one of the things that we also hear is, when do we actually see results from fixing this? And I would honestly say that faster than most people would expect. So, you know, we've talked about some of the customer stories, H&R Block, you know, some of the stuff that we've seen internally, but we are seeing that content quality signals compound quickly once the AI starts treating you as an authoritative source. So I can actually go in to my performance and understand really easily my top cited pages. So it's going to tell me which pages on my own site that AI is already treating as authoritative. So I can see here, and which ones it's ignoring. So this is a really good starting point for content strategy, doubling down on what's working, but also diagnosing what isn't. And the competitive landscape view, which I was just showing you here, is going to show you who's winning in your place if you're not showing up today. And not just the competitors that has a higher citation rate, for example, but which specific competitors, what topics, what frequency. You can then make focus strikes against your competitors, which is also obviously very helpful here within our competitive views. And the influential, if I look here from a sentiment perspective, I love this top influential sources. Pardon. It shows you which external sources, whether those are like publications, forums, partner sites, Reddit, thought leaders, are being cited by AI engines in your topic categories. So these are really your content amplification targets to see who's talking about you from a positive, negative perspective. And I could dive into any of those as well to see what those statements are, get more information there. So if these sources are covering your competitors but not you, or let's say they have negative things they're saying about you, that's a PR and content partnership gap that you can close. now I want to pop into our recommendations view. So Louisa walked through this a little bit here as well, but this is really where our methodology really separates us from anything else that's in the market. So our recommendations engine, because we have a unified data platform and we have all of this data speaking to each other, we essentially replicate what LLMs do to make sense of your content. So how AI engines, they use the same underlying technology, those vector embeddings, to understand semantic meaning. And we map the relationship between your topics, your existing content, and the gaps that AI is surfacing. So, and prioritize for you recommendations. And they're based on really that semantic authority. What topics does the AI perceive you as having genuine expertise in, and where does it see gaps in that expertise? Where are competitors showing up, et cetera? And the result is going to be this prioritized list of specific contextual actions, not just write more content about X, but I can hop into one of these here. The best travel credit card sign-up bonuses. What we're actually going to be doing here is here's the exact topical angle targeting these specific personas. Here's what's going well, what's not with data. And then we actually understand all of the pages that you do have already existing on your site that you can then go in, click and select. And I can easily now hop into our writing assistant because we already know all of this information that you have that can help you close those gaps. And that's really a big difference between having a data platform and more of a point solution. And so from this view, it's showing me all of my pages that have to do with this prompt that I could optimize. And I can just click start optimizing, and it's going to bring us into our writing assistant, which is pre-populated with that gap context. So it's showing me topic, persona, I can see objective, audience, journey stage, looks across my content and lets me know what I need to do based on actual data. So you can go from insight to optimization based on, again, actual data without leaving the platform. And one thing to note too here is for, we work with a lot of customers in regulated industries. So every output runs through content profiles, your brand profiles, like anything around what you can and can't do with your content, and internal knowledge asset sources. So this is really around how we can take all of this data and turn it into action, which was a huge theme that we're hearing across the AEO space. People need more guidance on how to take action. So signal execution in one workflow. And I'll tell one quick story here, because I think it's worth mentioning. We work with a global enterprise cloud security company, and they faced, I would say, a challenge that is pretty familiar to, I would say, a lot of people in the space right now, even the other story I was talking about before. So SEO performance was strong, but they were really clear, almost invisible within AI search. So their head of digital ran an AISP, an AI search performance, a citation gap analysis, and found that there were 340 prompts across the topic clusters where competitors were cited and they were not. They were working with us early on when we were working, testing and doing all these things around recommendations. But they addressed the top 10 recommended optimization gaps and saw the performance of those pages within AI triple. That page group. So really saw a measurable increase. And then also started getting AI referral traffic for about a quarter of those pages. So one of the quotes that they had mentioned that I thought was interesting is we'd always measured our content by what humans clicked on, but we now are able to see what AI engines trust, and they're very different lists. And so I know everything I've just showed, even within the platform, within AI search performance, all of this is extremely powerful. But there's a question I hear from every director or VP that sees the platform. How do I turn all this data into something my CMO can act on without spending 4 hours building a dashboard or report? And Helen, I think you had put in the chat too. Can I make this a PDF? So that question and questions around, hey, I'm looking for your data on our colors, our branding colors, for example, or hey, I want to look at this a different way, or I want to drill down into this, but I want it to do analysis. So those types of questions are exactly why we built the Conductor MCP server. I'm going to show you this right now in Claude, but this is also, as Wei mentioned, an app in ChatGPT, an official app, and something that we first see being using in things like Copilot as well. So we built this MCP server to take all that invaluable data we were just walking through down to those prompt responses. And it's the capability that we really feel like is going to change how people engage with AI search data and Conductor data entirely. So I've gone in, I've selected the connector. We're going to try to do this live. I know Claude was having some issues yesterday, but I'll start talking through as this is loading up here what an MCP server is, just briefly. So MCP stands for Model Context Protocol. If anyone's using any interesting MCPs today that are helpful, feel free to also throw that in the chat. But it's the simplest way I would say to think about it is it's a direct, secure connection between an LLM, so like a Claude, I almost said a Conductor, a Claude, ChatGPT, Copilot, and your Conductor data. So instead of logging in and building a report, you could actually ask, in this instance, Claude, a question in plain English. I said, using my Conductor data for this demo account, give me a summary of our AI search performance for this quarter. I need XYZ. I need our overall brand mentioned, share trends, our top 3 citation gaps by topic, our biggest competitive threats, and one specific content recommendation I can bring to my team this week. You could also add in what format you wanted to put that in, whether that's PDF or Word or doc. And here's the part I would say that matters for trust. So standard LLMs guess. If I put this information, give me a summary of all this for my specific brand, even if it was within, your own company personalized, Gemini or ChatGPT, LLMs guess. They want to give you an answer. So it might not be accurate. So that's where this is really important, because conductors, all that data that we have that we just walked through is being fed via an API here. And you can see it's going to start looking through Conductor data. And that's our split reasoning architecture. So that's what makes it different. So the LLM, like Claude in this instance, is going to stay in charge of the conversation. So the language, the synthesis of data, the narrative, but Conductor's verified data drives every single insight. So the numbers come from, again, our official API connection to OpenAI, Gemini, et cetera. So not from Claude's training. So if you were to go in and do this in Copilot, for example, without the MCP, it would just be based on what Copilot was trained on. So this drastically removes hallucinations. And of course, we never use, your data is going to stay yours. We don't, use that to train any models. We have a bunch of ISO certifications with numbers I can't remember right now, but this is what it means, I would say, like for AI to be enterprise secure. And we embed directly into your existing stack. So think ChatGPT, Claude, Copilot. And also we've had a lot of customers that have started adopting our API for agentic workflows that their teams were already building internally. So you can see here that just in the matter of time it took for me to explain an MCP, we actually have generated the exact output that I had asked for. And here's plain language read on a team conversation. So possibilities are endless with this, but Claude wasn't generating from its general training knowledge. It's making live API calls to Conductor, retrieving your actual brand mention share, your real citation gaps, your specific competitive landscape and sentiment analysis, and doing all of that at scale. And what I would say from how Conductor, I actually want to show you another example here too. All I did was ask it to build an AEO report on a specific demo account. And what I can see here from an output perspective, you'll see across the side on the right. But within, I think this took me 5-6 minutes, an executive narrative like summary of our AI search performance, a ranked list of citation gaps with specific prompts driving each gap, competitive analysis, naming which brands are winning, and content recommendations you can hand to a writer. This is typically, like in the conversations I have had with our customers who are using our MCP server, reports that would take 4, 5, 6 hours manually are now being able to be spit out within a couple of minutes here. And you can run this all without opening a dashboard. So you can answered one-off questions from leadership and come in and ask those questions and get real answers, create charts and graphs for business lines, export things as a PDF, really take all of the data we have and be able to analyze that for themes. So this is really like the insight to action loop is how I would end it around this. And it's closed completely in a single session. So I can take this report that I've created and use it as a foundation for my next leadership update. And my entire workflow from opening Claude to having a board ready asset, again, took less than 10 minutes to create. And it's obviously incrementally, it's not just incrementally efficient, but it's a really, I would say, a fundamentally different way of working with data. And it's been really exciting. Seth and I have talked about how it's like, it keeps me up at night, all of the things that we can do with this. It's really exciting stuff. So I'm really excited to be able to share that with everyone.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. I put in the chat that you can make your own version of Conductor based on how you operate, how you think, how you like to report, how your company receives information, how mature your organization is, and it's all powered by the investments we made the last few years in building incredible data and making that available. So it's super exciting. It's really the future of software.
Awesome.
We need your prompt. That's actually, I mean, we're going to give everybody our prompts, our skills, and we're going to have a whole community around this. So stay tuned. But you actually, like, it's amazing because of the split reasoning API and our ability to just take very simple requests and then parse them out to all the different data sets that we have and then come back with an answer. You don't really actually need the most sophisticated prompts to get things to be useful, but certainly more prompting makes better responses. So yes, we will share prompts, and then we expect our we're facilitating our customers actually sharing prompts with each other. So that's the end of our webinar. And if you we're likely to run this again if you want to invite some other folks from your company or do this one more time. I want to just thank all the folks from Conductor who presented, and most importantly, thank all of you for joining. We have a couple follow-ups here. If you'd like to see your own data in the Conductor product, we would love to put a demo account together for you and present it to you. So you can just hit that QR code on the left. We do run these 30 for 30 industry updates where our head of professional services basically shares out everything that's happening in the industry, as well as what's happening inside of our customers, like on an aggregated basis. And it's a great way to just get a lot of information in 30 minutes. And then we have a spring summit that we're starting to getting registrations for. It's a great event, and would love for you to join. So thank you for participating, and looking forward to getting you access to Conductor. It's by far the most differentiated and most comprehensive product in the market right now. So thank you so much.